Hello everyone, I would like to discuss with you 36 questions that according to Cosmopolitan and the New York Times will help you to fall in love with someone. I will read you the instructions and several questions, and then I will share my opinion and we will discuss with you whether it will work, how you can actually use these questions, when you should use them and when it won't work. So by the rules you have to read one question aloud to your partner, then you both have to answer. Let's see the first one. If you could invite anyone in the world to dinner, who would it be? Then the second question. Would you like to be famous? In what way? Third question. Before making a telephone call, do you ever rehearse what you are going to say and why? So all questions, they are quite different. I would say that they are vague, quite neutral, and I definitely can't recommend to go through this whole list on the first date. Because on the first date, you don't know your dating partner yet, you're literally strangers, and asking a stranger like whom you would like to ask out on a date, whether you rehearse before you pick up the phone, it's quite strange and it will feel awkward. You both will think about a smart, witty answer, and I don't think that you will really enjoy it. And even if you will really try to go through all these 36 questions, I doubt it that you will be able to memorize lots of information, lots of exact facts about your dating partner, and he or she will be able to memorize lots of useful practical information about you. Or the first question, what would constitute a perfect date for you, or when did you last seem to yourself to someone else? I would say that these questions and this whole test as a game can be a good idea if, for example, you have been dating for a few weeks and now you are traveling for the very first time to spend a weekend together somewhere. Or, for example, you have met in person and now you continue getting to know each other by communicating per video calls, so you are building a long-distance communication. Then for your second or third Zoom date, for example, while you are driving or on a plane or on a train, when you are going to your first romantic getaway, you can play with these questions. Maybe if you don't feel comfortable with investing an hour into talking, and according to the authors of this list of questions, it will take you about an hour to ask them all. But really, from my experience, and I'm a professional matchmaker for over a decade, I would say that for the first date, it can be a little bit stiff and forced, all these questions. And if you still have decided to try it and to ask these questions, don't be very strict. If, for example, the person you have asked a question starts sharing a story, it is better to continue discussing the story that the person is sharing than jumping into the next question. After all, it's not about asking as many questions as you can and exchanging as many facts as you can. It's about getting to know a person in front of you better. So if he or she is telling you that, for example, he would like to meet the author of this book, it is better to continue asking about the book, why he wants to meet the author of this book, why this book is so special for this person, and if you have read this book too, to discuss the book. My operator Sasha, the cupid behind the camera, has just shared with me that in the theater, when they train new actors, they have used these questions to help the actors get to know each other better, and he said that at the end of asking all these questions, you feel like you know the other party better. Yes, I like asking questions. It is a great tool to actually show interest and to get to know your date or your new acquaintance better. But if you are speaking about the first date should be about flirt, it should be fun, it should be relaxed. And if you still have decided to use this question, for example, you're having a Zoom date and you know that you are not a really flirty type, and you can't say that you are super easygoing when it comes to meeting someone new, You can tell your date that, you know what, I have this idea, I have read about these questions, and there are like 36 of them. I'm not sure we should answer all of them, but maybe we can start and see how it will go. And again, I recommend you to pay attention to the answers, and if the lady shares something about her favorite book or favorite movie, or about a life situation, something that has happened to her, it's not a crime to actually continue discussing that story and to dig deeper into things she's telling you. Because sometimes even the date with good potential, because there is strong physical attraction at the very beginning, can be ruined by monotonous questions that people keep asking. I remember one of my clients has actually written the list of questions that he wanted to ask his date, and it can be a good idea if you can play it cool. For example, another my female client, she has prepared 4 questions, she has actually written them down, and she has asked the gentleman during their Zoom date. She told him that, you know what, I was thinking about the Zoom date, I've never done it before, and I have decided to come up with the list of questions that are really important to me, and if you don't mind, I will ask you. And the gentleman liked it, how thorough she was, because she said the backstory, she has explained why she wanted to ask those questions. Anyway, my male client who came up on a date with that list, so he opened his notes, and his date later on, she has given the feedback that when she has seen like how long the list was, she felt turned off, and she felt that okay, it will be boring, and she has answered the questions, but she felt like it was a job interview, that he tried to analyze her, he tried to grade her in a way, and she didn't feel comfortable. So it is very important to watch the reaction of your partner. It is very important to watch the body language. And I really don't like it because usually it leads to negative results, not the results that my clients want. When people concentrate way too much on asking questions. Asking questions, it's a great tool to show that you are interested, that you want to get to know your partner better, but you can't build the date only on questions. There should be flirt, there should be appropriate body language, smile, laugh, jokes, compliments. If you can mix it with asking questions, then you will get a really good date, an enjoyable date. If you will just stick to questions, you will get a job interview. Okay, it can be a job interview in a restaurant or in the bar with cocktails, but it will still feel awkward and stiff. For example, the question number 7, do you have a secret hunch about how you will die? Really, it depends on the culture, age group, background, because not all women whom I interview daily would feel okay to answer this question. Of course, if you come up with this list in a playful way, and again, you're, for example, taking a ride, you're going somewhere, or it is your 3rd Zoom date, and you have decided to make something fun, and it is like a game for the two of you, and this game will help you get to know each other better, then you can do it. But if it is a first date and it is a quite stressful experience, and then you have these questions, you have to be very attentive and to watch the body language, the expression, facial expression of your date, whether she feels comfortable with it. I remember when the book 5 Love Languages became really popular, and people kept asking on the first dates about love languages. And there are some awkward situations when, for example, the other party hasn't read that book. Or, for example, the other party hasn't read that book because he or she read some negative reviews, or they don't believe in love psychology. Or, for example, you start talking and you find out that you have different love languages, and out of a sudden you jump into conclusions that you're not compatible because, for example, she believes that's her love language and he believes that's his love language. I have been working with so many clients, and very often during the first interview they tell me something like, oh, Svetlana, my love languages are these, and after working with this client for a few weeks, after getting the feedback, after the dates, I understand that he has no idea what his love languages truly are, because he has named something else. I strongly don't recommend to play a psychologist and to try to analyze your date on the first date, to ask some strange psychological questions that in your opinion will help you understand your date better, because if you don't have a degree in psychology, most likely you won't be able to come up with the right analysis. And also, even if you have a degree in psychology, and I have worked with professional psychologists, well, they can be brilliant in their profession and really awkward on dates, and it took us time to figure out what they need in a partner and how to bring their dating life to the next level, how to improve their results on the dates. So if you have read an article, for example, you have watched a video about certain dating tips or certain questions, of course you can bring it up on a date, probably not on the first date. It depends on the video and questions, and maybe you can discuss it and the discussion can be really interesting. Well, why not to do that, especially if, for example, we are talking about long-distance communication, when you have to be more creative to make your video dates more memorable, more exciting, more romantic. Then it is actually a fun idea to watch a video, to send a link and to discuss it later, or to read an article, to share your opinion, to listen to her opinion, and then to decide if, for example, you want to do those questions. When you read certain dating tips and advice, keep in mind that in different cultures you will have certain peculiar dating traditions, and you can't take culture and traditions out of the dating equation. So it is important to keep in mind the background of your date. Also, some dating tips, they will work for certain age groups, but they won't work for other age groups. Or for example, they will work for people who have been married, and they won't work for people who have never been married. So when you're looking for dating tips and advice, I recommend to find several sources, not to stick to just one article and believe that this is a Bible. So watch several YouTube channels, read several articles, listen to several podcasts, several bloggers, and then you can choose what works best for you, for your personality, for someone with your background, and for the personality and background of the lady you're going out with. I hope it was helpful. I want to wish you lots of fantastic romantic dates with the right ladies and gentlemen. Svetlana Muchar with love, especially for Diolli.com from Munich, Germany. And right now is the moment when you should press like, subscribe to our channel, and consider to support us by becoming a sponsor. Then you will get access to additional videos that we film specially for Diolli.com sponsors. I will see you in the next one. Bye!